Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Brian here. How's everyone doing today, or tonight, or this morning, wherever you may be in the world? I hope you're all doing well. So in this video, I wanted to rank the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Now, recently I have ranked the Leprechaun franchise and the Friday the 13th franchise, so I figured I would rank the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise from the worst movie to the best movie. So, without further ado, let's get right into this. And before we get into this, I hope you will consider subscribing and dinging that bell so that way you get notified every time I upload a video. Alright, everyone, let's get right into this. So, at number 9, right down at the bottom of the list, bottom of the food chain, and is Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. What a terrible movie. I mean, I'm sorry. No shame to the directors or writers or Jackie Earle Haley or any of the cast or, crew members, whatever. But it's just a terrible movie. Listen, I'm not trying to judge you if you're a fan of this, but this movie is just terrible. The acting in it, it's not good. Jackie Earle Haley was trying too hard. Listen, he's an amazing actor, but there's only one Freddy Krueger. Just like there's only one Leprechaun, there's only one Freddy Krueger, and that is Robert Englund. I'm sorry. Listen, this did not take the roots that the Halloween reboot or the Friday the 13th reboot did, because those reboots were actually good, where this one, it just sucked. I'm sorry, it just did. I'm just being honest. And number 8 is Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Now listen, Robert Englund was awesome in this movie. He was menacing, but this movie is just a boring movie. It's not a good movie. I'm sorry, it's just boring. This is one of the lower Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I could care less. The characters aren't really likable. I mean, it's just not a good movie. I mean, it's just not. It doesn't hit as hard as the first one did or the sequels that came after. It's just not exactly the best movie in the franchise. At number 7 is Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. This one I actually don't think is as bad as people say it is. It's obviously not good. That's why it's at the bottom of my ranking, towards the bottom. But it's not as terrible as they think it is. I think that this did go a little way too campy, and way too much on the comedy part and the cheesiness. But it's an alright movie. It's not as good as the others, or it's certainly better than Part 2 and the reboot, I'd say. But not exactly the best. It's far from the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie, in my opinion, at least. At number 6 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. This is also one. This one, I actually like this one. This is a good movie. I like the character Alice. And the thing I don't like about this movie is, it's just, this is when Freddy starts getting a little campier than I'd like it to be. I like campiness in the movies, but still, a decent movie. A very decent movie. Good movie. These are all decent movies. I'd say these are all good movies except for the reboot and Part 2. But, this is just, it's a horror movie that's late 80s, so, it screams at you. At number 5, is Freddy vs. Jason. Oh, yeah. So, Freddy vs. Jason, if you've not seen Freddy vs. Jason, I said this is higher on my ranking list for Nightmare on Elm Street because it is. This is basically a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It's very good. We finally got to see the two icons, Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees, clash on the screen. I made multiple videos about Freddy vs. Jason. It wasn't as good because it didn't have Kane Hodder in it. It wasn't as good, but still a pretty good movie. Basically a nightmare movie, with Jason filling in for Freddy for most of the kills. But, not a bad movie. I would say this is not a bad movie at all. Pretty good movie. Pretty epic crossover. I just wish Kane Hodder could have been in it. At number 4 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This is where the masterpiece starts to begin. This movie, I love it because it did something so different from the other movies. This is probably the most realistic one. Well, I'd say this is probably the most realistic one out of them all. But it went so good. I mean, just epic. I mean, the way that they made it look, Freddy's new design, and plus saying Freddy's kind of real, this is an actual real world. Or I guess in the other ones it's real world too, but it's just such a good movie. Just 10 out of 10. Wes Craven did bring the franchise back. At number 3 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Another masterpiece right here. I mean, just an awesome movie. I don't like it how they kill off all the, all the characters, immediately. I don't like that. But it's still pretty good. Just an amazing movie. This is Freddy in his prime. Just an amazing 10 out of 10 movie. At number 2 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Now, these last two were really hard to decide, but Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I'd say, is, out of the entire franchise, probably the most, like, fan-based one. This is, like, they got the Goonies feeling to it. I mean, they're all good, but this one is, like, the most famous fan-made one. Or not, it's not fan-made, but the most famous, how do I explain it? The most famous, like, this is, like, the Robert Englund calls this the fanboy movie. This is the one that the fans really love. This is, like, the Avengers Endgame of the Freddy Krueger franchise. This is the one that they like the most. The fans just love this movie so much, and it's understandable because I love this movie too. It's an awesome movie, and I actually did not realize that this was released so late in the '80s. I thought that this was a lot earlier '80s, but it's 1987. I mean, that's still definitely the '80s, but I thought this movie was released like back in like 85, 86. I didn't realize this was released so later in the 80s. But yeah, I mean, what an amazing movie. 10 out of 10. I would recommend checking this out if you've not seen it. And if you haven't seen it, check it out again. And at number 1 is the original Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, starring Johnny Depp in his very first ever role, old Robert Englund. And just, this movie is just another masterpiece. I mean, this is by far the best one. And part 3 is a very, very, very close second. But yeah, just think, whoa, look at it. If they released this movie a few weeks earlier, it could have been released on Halloween. But just, wow. What an amazing movie. Just, wow. Just an amazing movie. I mean, this franchise, 9 movies, wow. Just awesome. Made 57 million, wow. Just an amazing movie. I'd highly recommend checking this out. I'd highly recommend checking these all out. Probably part 2 in the reboot I would not recommend checking out. I would even recommend checking out Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, but yeah, that's my ranking of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise? Which is your favorite movie? Do you agree with my ranking? What is your ranking? Let me know in the comment section. And before we end this video, I just want to say thank you. We hit 200 subscribers today. Wow. Thank you all so much. I don't know where you all come from, but just thank you. It warms my heart so much to know that people are liking these videos enough that they're subscribed to the channel. It really does. So thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys and girls out there. I really do appreciate it. Thank you all so much. I love you all. I really do. Alright, everyone. As always, the usual. Like, share, comment, and if you have not already, please subscribe. Alright, everyone. God bless you. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Hawaiian Shirt Brian out of here. Bye-bye.